My 22-year-old daughter recently got a new nanny position. This isn't an accomplishment in itself. She has been a nanny in the past, she has great experience, and she truly has a love for children. What is impressive is that every time she applies for a new nanny role, she gets offered the job immediately. What's different about her, and why do some nannies get offered every job they apply for while other nannies hear more no's than yeses? Let's have a look at that today and see how I can help you out. If we haven't met before, I'm Michelle Kelsey, founder of the Nanny Solution by Nannies on Call. Each week I bring you new videos to educate and inspire you to get better jobs, make more money, and become leaders in the industry. Let's get right to it today. My daughter really does have a decent resume. She has past nanny experience, she's a gymnastics coach, she's coached kids for years and years, and she has really great references. But let's face it, she's 22 years old. She doesn't have as much education or background as many nannies, yet every time she goes out for the job, she receives an offer. We've talked about it for years within the agency. There are certain nannies that as soon as you send out their profile or they have an interview, you know they're going to get a job offer every time. So what's the difference between the nannies who do and the nannies who don't get constant job offers? Let's get the most obvious thing out of the way. My daughter's 22, and for 20 years I've run a successful nanny agency. So for 20 years, she's heard me talk about families and nannies, issues, how to interview properly. She's got constant mentoring and coaching on how to do it. She has her criminal record check, her CPR first aid, everything's up to date all the time because that's what I've taught her to do. I know all of you don't have a mom behind the scenes who's run a nanny agency for the last 20 years and is constantly coaching you and educating you on what to do to get have the most chance of getting a job. So let me be your mom today and give you a few tips and tricks that I've taught her over the last 20 years that helps her ensure every time she applies for a job, she gets a job offer. My daughter is likable, instantly likable. So she has crafted and learned over the years how to connect with a family right away, how to ask questions, how to have an upbeat and smiley personality. That's what the family wants to see. I can't tell you how many times I've interviewed nannies who are very flat and just don't show a lot of emotion during the interview, not a lot of smiles or interaction, and I know it's probably because they're nervous, so I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But families don't have that experience, so they're looking for a nanny who's upbeat, happy, who's going to bring energy and excitement to the home and not be a negative Nancy and bring the mood of the home down. So that's one thing to think about, is how are you presenting yourself? Are you presenting yourself as the fun and engaging and a happy person that you are? Or are you coming across as nervous and creating a little bit of a negative or somber tone? That's tip number one. Tip number two, my daughter has really nailed down what kind of family and what kind of job she's looking for. So she only applies for jobs that are exactly what she's looking for. So many nannies apply for every job on Facebook or every job on our nanny agency page. That can't be true. You can't be okay working in such a variety of positions with a variety of ages. You know, there might be a few people, but also the job postings are miles apart. Sometimes I live in Vancouver, so sometimes it's in Vancouver and another job's, 100 kilometers away. You can't be okay in all positions. So really narrow down what it is you're looking for. Often when I ask nannies in the interview what type of family they're looking for, they tell me they're very flexible and they can adapt to any family. And that may be true, and it really is a very good skill. But if you know what you're looking for in terms of what are your favorite ages to work with, are they girls or boys? Does it matter to you? What area are you looking in? Are you looking for a job close to home or further away? Are you looking to move? So take the time to figure out exactly what you're looking for. Parents working from home or not. Right now during COVID, that's very difficult. But what is it that you want? And then you can apply for the job specifically that match what you're looking for so you have a higher chance of success. Tip number three, I've taught my daughter to be responsive in her communication. Lots of nannies apply for jobs, then they get a response back, and it'll take them 24 hours to get back, or more. If you're looking for a job, you should be fast at responding to when the family or the agency gets back to you. You also need to keep in mind how you're communicating. So it should be in a professional manner. I've taught both my children how to write proper emails with punctuation and grammar and capitalizations. These things matter at the very beginning. You can get into a more casual atmosphere of texting with the families later. Everything in the beginning should be more formal and more professional. I have another video, how to stand out when you're applying for a nanny position. So we go over a little bit about punctuation, grammar, and communication there. But really, being responsive and being professional in your communication from the beginning is really, really important. Tip number 4. My daughter knows how to sell herself. So she knows what her strengths are. She's applying for jobs where she can apply those strengths. So for example, the position she recently got is with a 2-year-old little girl and the mom's about to have a baby. 2-year-old girls love her. They are attracted to her as soon as they meet her. They instantly are able to form a connection. So when she first meets with them, that child instantly is engaged with my daughter, and that makes it really easy for the parents to see how things are going to be moving forward. She also has a coaching background in gymnastics, so she's really athletic, she's into nutrition, and the family she chose to apply with is also, in their job posting, said those were really important things to them. So she knows that going in, those are the things she has to sell. Helping the child with gymnastics skills, or going outside and being active, being able to make healthy snacks because she values health and nutrition. These are all things she ties into her interview and her application, even her letter that she writes to the family before they even meet her. So she knows how to sell herself, tie that to the job she's applying for, and it makes it a lot easier to then make an instant connection, which is what you need to get hired right away. The other thing, of course, is to ask questions, which helps you engage during the interview. So I have another video I'll put up there on questions to ask during your nanny interview. So again, my daughter has practiced these. She practices what she's going to do in the interview so she can be confident and calm during the interview and not worried about what she's gonna say. These things just come naturally now because she's done it so many times and she's practiced so much prior to the interview. And really, tip number 5, I think, is what it all boils down to. My daughter has high emotional intelligence. This is a huge skill in life. It's a huge skill in getting jobs. It's a huge skill in getting paid a higher salary. So what is that, and how can you apply it to getting the job every time? I'm gonna read this because I don't wanna mess it up, and it's the definition of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationships, succeed at school and work, and achieve your career and your personal goals. It can also help you connect with your feelings, turn intentions into actions, and make informed decisions about what matters to you. So that's the definition of emotional intelligence. And there's a lot online. I may make another video because really it's a full video in itself. This is something that if you don't already have, you should start working on. And there's lots of documentation online, so just Google it. So some other things emotional intelligence will help you do, not only when you're applying for positions, but when you're in your job, are things like being able to accept criticism and a responsibility, being able to move on after making a mistake, being able to say no when you need to, which is a huge nanny issue that I see on the boards all the time, nannies talking about not being able to say no or feeling guilty, so that's a big one. Being able to share your feelings with others, being able to solve problems in ways that work out for everyone, having empathy for other people, having great listening skills, knowing why you do the things you do, and not being judgmental of others. And I really think that just wraps everything up. This is something I've worked with my daughter on her entire life. It's how I've raised her. It's how I've taught her to interact with other people at school and growing up with her friends. It's empathy. It's all the things that families want to see when they first meet, when they see your application, so your letter, or when they interview you and you first start in a position. These are the things that will help you succeed in the long run, and working on your emotional intelligence, I promise you, will make huge strides in your career. If you can work on these 5 skills and be proficient at all of them, I can guarantee you'll start getting more job offers, more yeses than nos, and start getting positions you're truly interested in and truly passionate about. You know what they say, if you don't have the skills already, fake it till you make it. Start practicing these skills immediately and give them a try next time you're applying for a position. We'll see you next Saturday.